Hey y'all, if you own an Alfa Romeo Giulia or Stelvio 2.0 Turbo, here are the 5 must-have mods in order to transform your OEM car into a track-ready, neck-breaking beast. Let's dive in. I run Club Alfa Performance, and we build and test these cars on the track and the street. So these aren't just wish list parts, they're proven upgrades. Stick around to the end, and I'll share which one gives the biggest bang for your buck. Alright y'all, so the first mod we're going to talk about are the brakes, the big brake upgrade. Now, even with the quadrifolios, and especially with the 2.0 turbos, the OEM brakes are not up to par for anything other than really just A to B commuting and a little bit of spirited driving. The first thing you all should do is upgrade the brakes on this car. This car is massively underbraked from the factory. So upgrading to the GTC 380mm kit that we offer will do lots of things for you. Number one, it's going to make your car safer because it's going to shorten the stopping distance tremendously. It's going to extend the time that you have before you see brake fade. In fact, you may never see brake fade with this kit if you're running the right kinds of pads and rotor selection. And obviously, it's much more stylish compared to the OEM setup. This is a proper looking brake kit that really fills out the wheels of this car, fills out the wheel well, and it just looks proper. These are track proven, done plenty of videos installing and running these on the track. Definitely upgrade your brakes, folks. All right, let's move on. The second mod we're going to talk about is the exhaust. The OEM Giulia and Stelvio exhaust is way too quiet, and everybody knows this. It is not befitting of a car of this level of performance. Highly recommend that you upgrade your exhaust. Now, you don't have to do it with Club Alfa Performance. Obviously, that's the one we recommend, but there's plenty of great exhaust systems out there on the market. You've got things like the Centerline system, the Madness Monza system, Map Performance makes a system. And obviously, you have the Club Alfa Performance, Trofeo Ultimo. And now we just released Club Alfa Performance Tempesta system. All right, let's go to the next mod. The third modification we're going to talk about is an ECU and transmission tune. Now, I recommend doing both of these together, and that's because they're designed to work together in most cases, and it completely transforms the driving dynamics of the car. In the OEM form, the car makes about 280 to 300 horsepower to the crank. With an ECU tune, you can actually bump up the power to where you'll see about 280 to 300 horsepower to the wheel, right? So we're bumping up wheel horsepower significantly with just an engine tune. Not to mention the transmission tune, which can dramatically decrease your shift times and make the car much more lively and fun to drive. I've done reviews on these kinds of things. We still got a review coming on the Club Alfa Performance and PW Performance transmission tunes, so stay tuned for that. There's lots of ECU tunes available out here. You can go with ours, you can go with Squadra, you can go with Ideal Racing, you can go with the Madness system. Obviously, I prefer ours. I've done a long review on it. It's 100 miles an hour. But once again, this is not a Club Alfa plug. Guys, do your research and figure out what's best for you. However, definitely unlock the latent potential in this platform and get yourself an ECU and a transmission tune. Mod number 4, let's talk about the stance and the ride height and the handling, and that's going to be coilovers. Now, everybody usually goes to springs first, and I did that too. I had springs on this car first, and springs were cool. They lowered the car probably a little too much, and you know, it felt a little bit better, but eventually I stepped up to KW V3 coilovers close to 2.5 years ago now, almost 3 years ago, and I have loved every minute of it. Not a single issue with a high quality, precision crafted and built coilover system. Cannot recommend that enough. Yes, it is a little bit pricey. However, if you're going to keep the car like me, if you plan on modifying it, especially if you plan on going to the track, doing daily driving and just using the car in all the ways that you can use a vehicle while wanting the best possible performance and the adjustability to be able to adjust ride height and independently adjust damping and compression, you absolutely need to give the KW V3s a look. I bought mine from Alpha 9 Supply. They're great folks over there. I highly recommend reaching out to them. And if you're seriously interested in setting your Alpha up, I've absolutely loved the way these things have supported this car, whether it's just me in the car, everybody fully loaded with bags on a road trip, or just commuting to work. It's an absolute beast of a ride with these KW V3 coilovers. Okay, y'all, so for mod number 5, it is definitely going to be the wheels and tires. Now, some people would probably say that wheels and tires need to be mod number 1. However, I would disagree, because I believe that the Alfa Romeo Giulia and Stelvio are one of the few cars ever made, ever produced to come with absolutely gorgeous Alfa Romeo Italian 5-hole wheels from the factory. So I think that, you know, the OEM wheels that this car comes with look amazing, and therefore you can kind of put that upgrade further down on the list. It doesn't need to be number 1. However, the 2.0 Giulia and Stelvio, both usually, even with the 5-hole wheels, they come with very narrow wheels, right? Like so, an 8.5 inch or a 9-inch wide wheel. And that limits the ability that you have to put, you know, wider tires on, and therefore increase the grip and performance of the car. This car came with 8.5 inch wide wheels. I've stepped up to a 19 by 9 inch wheel, and my next wheel setup, which might happen within the next year, will be even wider, allowing me to run sportier tires, same low pro tires, but just get a lot more grip with more power that's coming. So I highly recommend stepping up to a lighter, more forged and hard and durable wheel such as these, but always keep your OEM wheels as well. Don't throw those away, because those are beautiful. I happen to get these, which are 19 by 9. Like I said, in the offset I think is 30 millimeters. I love them. I get nothing but compliments with them, and I've had them for about 2.5 years, I think 2 years, something like that, and they just absolutely set off the car. They still look great. Eventually I'll get them refinished, but I absolutely love the way a good set of wheels and tires just 100% sets off a car. And right now I'm running Continental Sports Car 7 tires, which are available over here in Europe and Germany, but I don't think they're available in the States. But there's so many different options and combinations of wheels and tires you can get, and there's many ways how a good set of wheels and tires can increase your acceleration, your braking, and your lateral grip performance. Alright, so if I could only choose one mod, what would it be? And it would have to be the Tune. The Tune changes how the car feels every time that you get in it. It's something that you'll notice whether you're driving to work, to the grocery store, or you're driving on the track. That's probably where I would start if you're more performance minded like I am. However, you can start with any one of these modifications and still have an amazing time modifying your Alfa Romeo Giulia or Stelvio. So, let me know what you thought about this video. Please, in the comments below, let me know what you think the top 5 mods are, and what you think the first modification you should do to your Alfa Romeo Giulia or Stelvio 2.0 Turbo should be. Until then, as always guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button, and please stay tuned for the next video. See you later.